So the objective of Go Greco is to coincide with USA Wrestling, help us in this level be able to produce large numbers. USA's got some great programs around the country, 2 or 3 that really do a good job, but there's only, I don't know, 20, 25, maybe less than that, each of those pods of people. That's a very small field of people to draw our athletes from. The NCWA's job in building Go Greco is going to be able to produce 2, 3, 4, 500 college-level Greco athletes that USA will ultimately be picking from to pull into some of those other camps and clinics. Does that make sense? So we're looking at quantity to ultimately produce quality. We want everybody to experience Greco. If they experience it, they'll watch it. They'll get more excited about it. The more people that have experienced the sport, the more that will want to be involved. So even if they're not great, we want them to have fun with it, and we want them to experience it so down the road they get their kids to do it, and it goes on from there. We also produce additional Greco coaches through that process of people that are involved. Does that make sense? Okay, so Go Greco, we'll have our national championship. Bill is hosting the Go Grecos on June the 9th. Last year we purposely did it opposite the University Nationals because we honestly didn't want that level of athlete here yet. This year we will. We're a week after them, and we'll get some of those guys down here. We think this year we're going to go from probably, what we have, 50 athletes last year? About 50, we think we'll be at maybe 150 this year. Next year, here in Dallas. Next year, I honestly believe we will be the biggest Greco tournament in the country. You don't have to be that big to be the biggest Greco tournament. Yeah. Okay? So, but we hope to solve that through this initiative. Is that fair? So, in here we've got some guys that know. I wrestle a little freestyle, all college, no Greco. So as much as I'd love to be able to tell you I did a good job at it, I didn't even know what it was when I was in college. And so we want to make sure everybody gets a chance to do that. Bill was the Greco coach. What years, Bill?
Oh, back in the 80s.
Back in the 80s, took Greco teams to Iran. Where?
Poland, Bulgaria, Turkey, Iran, China.
Okay, so he was the USA coach, taking those guys all over the world in Greco. A wonderful leader, has been a solid leader in Dallas for a long time. Had the Richland program running back then, and it went away when there was no other competition. But now the NCWA is around. Richland has brought it back because there's now ways that you compete without traveling to up north to be able to compete. So, Bill, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to talk about it, introduce these guys, and show some Greco. Let them show some Greco.
The guy who was supposed to be here was one of my former wrestlers who wrestled in the '88 Olympics in Greco. And we've always taught a lot. So it's like he said, I had a couple kids that were good in Greco, and because they were good, I guess they thought I knew what I was doing. So I got appointed to the junior staff, worked 7 summers at the Olympic Training Center, and really got sold on Greco. Obviously, you remember it's the #1 sport in the Olympics. The first thing was put in was Greco wrestling. And if you go to Europe and you say wrestling, they assume you mean Greco. They don't, that's where kids start. And the thing about Greco is your hips have to be in perfect position. And your center of gravity is right here where your hip points are. Your hips are everything. We learn to wrestle collegiately with our arms and our legs. The body is what should be in there. Now, even to a novice, if you're going to play a game, figure out the scoring system. In wrestling, 2 for a takedown, 1 for an escape. You can play that game all day, right? Now, in freestyle, you get good points for a throw. In Greco, you get good points for a throw. In collegiate style, you can get 6 out of that thing. You throw to the back, you're getting 6. That's more than freestyle in Greco. You talk about a 6-point lead in a matter of 15 seconds, whew, that's a heck of a cushion. And so, we teach a lot of throwing. We warm up throwing every day. I just keep hoping that in transition, they'll find that and use it. You can't run out there and grab somebody and try and throw them. You get in trouble. And we've been guilty of that. And you have to understand there's a learning curve. When you teach kids to throw, they're going to screw up. First 10 times, they're going to mess it up 10 times. Second time, they'll be successful once. Next time. So as a coach, you've got to know there's a learning curve involved there and give kids a chance to figure that out. Let's get out here with him one time. Let's just go through one, double over, salto. Back up. Get a salto, double overs. Use the double overs. And she hit an over, under, back. Lat drop is what a lot of people think is throwing. Lat drop's a pretty weak throw. You want to go straight over top if you possibly can do that. So then we do that, double over, sag head and arm. Okay. Another misconception in Greco, and let me make this clear now, is that you can't use your hips. You can use your hips. It's from here down you can't use. I can't trip with the legs, but I can get my hips inside. This gal I recruited out of a PE class a couple years ago. She had no wrestling experience at all, and I love those kids because they have no bad habits. So whatever you teach them, they start from the beginning. But she's real good. Go ahead and hook up and hit a hip toss. Okay? She's gotten that several times during the year. And then what happened with it, she starts getting next to these other kids, and they start teaching her other things. So we bottom out for a while here, until we go back to what we do best, getting inside and throwing. So again, as long as you get those hips inside, now what I couldn't do would be step across and use my leg to bring him over. So we don't do that. Just get your hips through the hole, which is what, hit it one more time. Okay. We had a couple kids that came in the room and said, no, you need to stick your leg out here. Now I've been trying to correct that. It took me a year to correct that again. Now we've got her back to that point. But again, I've come up with this philosophy. I'm an old guy. I've been in wrestling a long time. Here's the philosophy I've come up with. If you can throw, if you can get off the bottom, if you can kind of single leg, you can win at the next level. Right? All of you that know wrestling, doesn't that make sense? You'll score in all those positions if you can do those three things. I don't have to teach switch. I don't have to teach sit out. I teach stand up. And it's kind of funny because that Olympian came back to the class one time and the guys were saying, Coach, we can't just stand up. You got to teach us other stuff. Like, Evan, did I ever teach anything but a stand up? He said, no. And a stand up is like, if you want to get up, get up. If you're at the West End on Saturday night and somebody's got a knife in your throat, you going to lay there and try and figure, you're coming up. So it's a 1-2 type of a thing. So you have to develop that mentality. But these three things we find comfort. And when we teach this, don't go on this side. Now, to teach kids to start with, I've got the body lock, and I'll walk up over him and set him in a neck bridge, and then he would pop and take it over. Rich, ready to throw you. Sit in the chair. Now, do it one more time and really pop the hip. She can take it. Yeah, okay, let her do it. By sitting in that chair, now when you elevate, the hips come up. Otherwise, you just kind of lay flat and you can get stuck there. Again, it's one of those things in the learning curve that you have to have to accept and get past that. The head and arm change up. And that's the thing, again, in the Greco, we're up in here all the time. You get used to being close and comfortable. When my head goes down and my butt goes out. Now your transmission's out here somewhere. You got to get the drivetrain inside here. And with Greco, it's easier for a kid because I know you can't attack my legs. So I'm more comfortable. Montana Tech has some kids that'll get their hips up inside too. Yeah. He's bought into it as well. But that's the whole key. You got to get them used to it. At first, nobody wants to get up in it. And the other thing is this. If we're in this position here, we've got the same thing on each other. If I can change that to a 45-degree angle and get this leg inside and then throw over my left shoulder, I'm out of the way. If I'm going to try and throw him here, this way, I've got to take him all the way across my body to the other side. If I can change angles here, now I don't have to take this far. My hips are still underneath. I can still lift and throw. Knockdown drag to a hip toss. We use this to kind of create that 45-degree angle. By knockdown, just hit the knockdown drag and stop. If they're facing each other head on, she hits the knockdown drag, Look at the angle she changes. Now she's inside. 45 degrees is the power angle. I don't know how many of you guys coach football, but we always talk about going north-south. If you go north-south and you're the running back and you take the hand off, you're going to run right into the linebacker. All right? You're going to have to make a cut somewhere at 45 degrees, then you can go north and south. All right? So we want to always try and change that angle. If I can't get a knockdown drag on him, I need to take a step to the side. He'll take that step. Now I'm right back in. I'm at the 45-degree angle. So Greco kind of teaches that as well. Sammy, get out here. Just go around a little bit. Transition. So I'll throw it out of transition. Go ahead and throw a salto out of transition. Okay. Again, like I said, you can't just go out and grab it. Now, the longer he holds that, the more the other guy's going to. If he's gotten pretty good at being able to change angles and push off, and then he hooks back up and throws. I don't know if you guys saw last night, my 235-pounder here was pushing the guy out of bounds, trying to get the stalling call. Kid from Grandview instead, and the kid hooked up, tossed it. He bounced. The kid from Grandview didn't cover him right away, but he bounced back up to where he was, and then he caught him coming down. But it's just boom, that quick. Spieler, a couple years ago. Oh, yeah. What, first 10 seconds, and it was over. Just stepped in. You have to be comfortable stepping in. Your power's in your hips and legs. As soon as I bend over, my butt goes up. The other thing is this, and this happened in this tournament, and I know it's going to happen, because we throw a lot. Every coach, almost every match we wrestle, is watch the throw. That's the first thing he send his guys out. Watch the throw. Well then, they're going to have to shoot legs, right? Single leg. Front headlock series. Put you in good position too. So by forcing or taking one thing away from us, it gives us something else. So that's a good thing. A throw again is a trump card. And it was his most success. That was his trump card. And the kid that wrestled you last year, the little kid at 33, that was his trump card. So sooner or later, in fact, that's how he got into he beat Brian Nipper's kid on a throw, right in the last few seconds. It's just possibility of so many big points all at one time that you have to buy into it. Even if you don't know how to spell Greco, you got to buy into it. But again, our freestyle kids on our international level, you watch them, they'll get up in there nice, set for a throw, and they back out. That's why the Iranians and the other people beat us. We're afraid to throw. And we still have that mentality. In this country, it's collegiate style first, freestyle second, Greco third, and that's why we're trying to change this by running some clinics and getting some kids who are really strong in Greco. The Central Florida has the Olympic Training Center, southeastern part there, and he does some Greco as well as freestyle in there. But it's something you have to believe in and buy into. Josh wrestled at Liberty. He was my assistant last year. He wrestled at Liberty, and we started throwing. He couldn't spell throw, and he still, he was kind of, and by the end of the summer, for our evening practices, he got to where he could throw pretty well.
He can still throw, but he still can't spell it.
Yeah, he still can't spell it.
It's on the mat.
Has that changed your outlook at all?
It really has. It opened up a lot of my game. It changed my style to where now, instead of being so low and trying to fake everybody out, I can tie up and get into other places that before I wasn't comfortable.
Okay. Over or under, walk him around, hit an arm spin. Another pretty easy move. And where it works so well is you go to hook up and they back out. If I've got a knockdown drive, I step in here. If he feeds back up through here, I'm trying to get by. This is what I like to get. But he's probably going to back his hips out too far. I've got the change off head and arm that we saw earlier. I've got the arm spin on this side. So it's body lock with either change off head and arm or the arm spin. One of the three is going to be there. And if Evan had been here, he's big on step around body lock where I got him here, and then I'm ready to lift and throw. Caleb's good at this. He'll body lock. You want to demonstrate?
Yeah, give me those. Okay. What do you want me to do?
Just step around body lock. Yeah. And again, the better you sit in that chair around the corner, the more hip hop you'll have. Do it one more time.
If I go to try to block this side, he steps back. I could step here.
You get that step around momentum going, it's like a top. I mean, even if you got sloppy and just fell down, you got the arm trapped, you always go to the trapped arm side when you're throwing. So even if you get caught and it gets sloppy, you can still
Coach, is there any good video series that you have,
I-
or you can point us to?
I really don't, but there must be a ton of stuff anymore.
Because my brain is like, I gotta see it 10 times.
Caleb, slide by.
Shameless plug. If you go on the mat.com, which is USA Wrestling's main page, go to mat.com, go to coaches. There's a curriculum page. They've got folk style plans and videos. They've got freestyle plans and videos. They've got Greco plans and videos. And it starts at basic, goes to intermediate, goes to advanced.
And it's free.
And it's all right there. It's all YouTube. You can also go. You can go.
USA Wrestling?
Yep. Mat.com.
I don't understand this plug. If you send Rob Herman an email,
Yes.
Rob will send you anything, and he doesn't charge anything anymore for it. He's like, if you want it, especially if you say it's for Greco, he'll send you stuff in the mail.
At the high level at Greco, like if we were at the Olympic trials, the score's going to be 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. Once you get a point, it's kind of like here, you get a lead, guys start backing up, it's hard to catch them after that. So, go ahead, Dol. Slide by on the outside is one way to do that. And this is the move they use at the highest level. We can't hook up, so we just drop levels and step around the corner. And you can hear, fireman's carry off the Russian. So you got Greco firemen. You know, there are all kinds of options. You just can't use your legs to trick them, block them. You can use your hips. You can't use your JD has a good back. JD, you want to offer anything in here? You guys do a lot of great job.
Great job. I'm enjoying it.
In fact, the kid that we lost to last year had a nice throw today. You can guess we threw it, went the wrong way.
Yeah,
Landed on that, and beat us. Then I saw him.
Yeah, you threw away from the trap on the side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, last year for recall, the kid we had that we took the wrong way. He landed on top of us. We couldn't catch up after that. Yeah, today, his kid had a nice throw. Okay. It's just, don't you think it's just a nice trump card to have?
It's part of what the Go Greco is. That kid learned that he went to University National. Unfortunately, the Go Greco is on the same weekend as the University Freestyle
Right.
Greco National.
We changed it this year.
So that'll help. We'll get a little more attendance that way, too. Plus, allow these kids also to go wrestle at the
Right.
universities if they would like as well. That kid placed fifth, the one that threw today,
Is that right?
at the University National. So
Yeah.
that's the opportunity.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. You have to be willing to have a learning curve with kids because they're going to mess up the first few times they do that. There's a little bit of a learning. But it's a great equalizer. Boy, it's a trump card that can put you back in the match real quick or extend a lead early on. It's tough to catch up to. You want to advertise that again? A couple other people have just come in about the Go Greco Nationals.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you just got here. Go Greco Nationals will be. Bill's sponsor, Richland College. I know we'll have at least 4 mats. We may have 6. Easy Flex will bring in mats this year, by the way. So that's gonna help out. We think we'll have 100 and maybe 100.5 kids. And by next year, it'll be the largest Greco event in the country. So, other than the fact that it's June 9th, we'll get more details to you. It could be June 8th and 9th, depending on the size of the event. We don't know that yet. We will sign up on Flow. That'll all get taken care of. We'll know what the numbers are. But I'm excited about where it's going to go. We're also talking, won't happen this year, but we'll probably be the first league that's going to allow for women's Greco. Okay? But it won't happen this year because we got to get our feet under us. But we want to do that as well. So, I mean, we're open to all kinds of things, guys. We want to be innovative. The beauty of the NCWA is we don't have a higher power to answer to us. You guys, you coaches, we'll do whatever we can to promote both our women's programs and our men's programs. And so I'm excited about where it's going to go.
Coach had a question.
Yes, sir.
10 weights.
What were our weights last year? I think it's the
And
regular
it's same
10.
as USA
Yeah,
Wrestling.
USA, right. International weights. Well, plus. Anything else?
Any
Bill?
Greco for women?
What's that?
Greco for women?
Not this year,
It's coming.
but it's coming. Yeah. Not this year.
She
next
wants
year. We think next year. She wants it. Yeah.
I got the
tell.
girls that want it.
So,
Anything else, guys? Yes, sir.
so
Got the girls that want it?
you got to have your USA card
Yes.
for the kids, obviously.
No.
No, they
Those
actually
are
don't. They got to be
NCWA.
part of the NCWA.
So,
Because it's through NCWA.
okay, so after we were just having a conversation with some of the web guys this week, we can't start like putting the new kids and stuff till September. So it closes off the website. So I can't.
No, it'll open back up.
It will.
Yeah.
Because I got an email said not till September you can start putting kids in again.
No, we'll
Okay.
open it back.
So-
In fact, we're trying to develop a whole separate side of the site. It's a work in process
Okay.
Of Greco where it'll suck the kids that are already in over to the Greco part.
Okay.
And then new people can add in that want to just do the Greco.
Okay.
So our card this year doesn't get us in for June.
I have to look at it. I've got to get insurance, but my understanding, don't hold me to this, is that we can get substantially lower rates because the ones that have already been in, that are already on our site, we're just extending it 3 months. So we're paying for 3 months, not for a full year. Does that make sense? So I'm hopeful that either it won't cost anything, depending on how this comes out financially.
So I won't need to I mean, I have mine, but a coach that maybe doesn't, they wouldn't necessarily have to have their USA coaching card.
They would not.
Or be
Not
a
for
silver.
us. Now,
Or,
if you want to go do USA stuff too, you're
Sure.
going to have their card.
okay.
Anything else, guys?
Chime in on this one. Yeah,
Tell who you are, that kind of stuff.
All right, well, my name's Travis Clark. I'm a high school coach up the road. I grew up in Ohio, but I wrestled on the All-Marine Corps Greco team. I'm a two-time University Nationals All-American when I was there, and then I also All-American at the Senior Nationals. Then I kind of transitioned back to folk style after that, but I'm still involved down here at the Greco.
Yeah, I'm Ray Bedford. I actually run Spartan Mac Club here in town. Who really, lasted two years with one cadet junior Greco. I'm former all-armed forces 7 years, two-time champ, Greco champ. Wrestling in the open here coming up in a few weeks at 50. So still rolling.
Coach hit a lot of the feet stuff. We're just going to kind of fill in some of the spots that we saw, and then we'll take you guys through just a bunch of the basic drills. Like last year, one of my high school kids who competed for me, competed for him in club, we sent him up to the USOEC with Coach Herman and Coach Bezick. He's doing great up there, but we focused on the basics. That way, when they got to that level, they could really build on that foundation. But we'll just show you some of the basic stuff we do. First 15 minutes of practice. That way, if you guys want to take it back to your schools and start implementing some of it, then you guys can.
Yeah, so we was talking before about feet positioning, having your hips in all the time, right? What we work on is we tell, especially with like the youth kids and high school kids, is we just have them make an imaginary arc between his feet. So anytime I'm working, I gotta stay inside that arc. Otherwise, I'm gonna give him hip space to be able to throw me. Right. So he was talking about keeping the hips in. It's just a good drill. Learn how to knee fight. And when we talk about knee fight, is Travis is gonna be working inside, and then I gotta get inside. Right. So just constantly knee fight. So you can just have the kids hold forearms when they're learning. Right. Just hold each other's arms and work, and then start to get into an under and over, or work off the 2-on-1, baseball grip, or even the rush.
And knee fight, like what I tell my high school, my younger kids, is basically make your knees kiss.
I mean, for some reason they understand that better than the fighting, but basically your knees are just together, but you're trying to get into position, like where your hips are. The other thing that you're gonna have trouble with is stopping this. You really gotta get them up. If you notice, I'm here, everything I'm doing is real short steps. So the whole time we're knee fighting, it's nice and slow.
And then we have them start working short arm stuff, a lot of drag inside, a lot of passing the wrist and the elbow. We just try to get position. Instead of working on big throws, the first couple of weeks when we used to work with these kids, it's really almost just this, right? And then pummeling to the lock, right? Getting to the lock, getting to the body lock, getting to a position where we might throw, and then we start to move on from there.
let's talk about pummeling real quick. That should really be your first 5-10 minutes of practice on top of what Coach Ray just said. So if we're warming up, we're just going to sit here. We're going to pump. Boom. Boom. Looking for position. If we start doing here, I may pull them in. I won't yet. Try to take those under. Boom. So like the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're just trying to fight for a position. Everything you should do should be going forwards.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I just work at drags. I work at drags a lot.
And then this can be the drills on top of that, like you said. So we're pummeling. You may just do a couple nice, easy drags. Boom, here. And then forward. Drag. God, you're so fucking big. He goes to break it off. Grab it by. Oh yeah. Boom. Turning down, attacking the back. So a lot of that's just from that 2-on-1 series. And then we'll go to our clinch series.
No, you do it.
Okay, clinch series. You know, Coach kind of hit on it, but I may just, trapped arms what I always go for, especially being a heavyweight. Here, drop, step. Then you can even go, they kind of hit on it earlier, I can clear and kind of do that swing step. There. Now they said you can't use your legs, but you can as long as they're planted and there's a few other criteria. I always tell the kids, you can't use your legs, but you're not penalized for having them. Right, so a lot of times you get an overhook, step behind. If I plant this, I can take him over my legs. Okay, now if I were to pick that up and try to trip him, that's bad. The one thing when you're teaching your kids, if that happens, what should I be doing? Everyone knows? Outside behind me. Trying to reposition my legs. Everything's about position. If you notice, I'm kind of in a squat position. Everything I do, I got my hips under me, my chest out, my back straight, I'm moving. If he steps, I step. Boom. But everything's there. Okay? Okay, one of the first things I normally make them do, we'll work bottom stuff since Coach worked a lot of feet stuff. I'll line them up. Since I have 3 mats in my room, I'll say 3 lines. And they'll just go flat. We'll work on just basic guts, okay? Greco, I'm more high gut. Some of you may like the low gut. But once you teach the proper mechanics of it, I'll just have them go right down the line, circle back, and the other guy goes. Here. And they'll reposition. So remember, we're going in a line. And then normally when they get halfway down our mat, I'll have them turn around. So there, I was going to my left, get halfway down, we'll go to my right. I mean, I got a good sized room, so that's about 10 to 15 guts total. Next. You know, like I'm big on the snap down series, snap down, front headlock, gator rolls. So we'll get them down. Here, I'll lock it up. Right there. They'll do that halfway down, switch it, go back. Let's do the reverse. Here. I missed it. But I'll roll through.
Leg foul.
Yeah.
Leg foul.
Exactly. But with
That's
that
what happens
reverse
when you
roll,
get 270 on you, you're gonna cheat.
as I roll through, he's going to get repositioned. See, now I'm on the other side. Right there, like I'm big on reverse lifts.
Show how to lift. I'm not lifting you.
You want to talk to it? I'll do it. Or
You can do it.
you got a flat face now. All right, obviously being a small heavyweight, I was never really big on lifts. But there's hip bones right there. I'll use that. So normally a basic lift, I'll straddle. lift, and try to load it up. No, no fun. Here. Now, when I tell my kids, step, step. Step between, step out, load it up. Once I get it in the hips here, then I can just kind of go through.
What do you do different? Nothing. I mean, with a heavier guy, like especially going.
Okay, yeah, the side lift. You better get ready for this, yours is coming. Now on that side lift, when he pulls them up, the knee closest to the feet's the one he wants to pull it up on the thigh. So he's gonna get nice and tight, he's really gonna get in there. He's gonna bring his knees in, he's gonna pull it up. And then once he gets them up far enough, he's gonna take that knee, step, and he's just gonna go with it. And it's the same thing with the reverse lift. Like I said, I do a lot of reverses. Say I'm here and I want to come out. He's blocking, blocking, blocking. I actually teach my kids to come up to the reverse. Here. Now I don't necessarily have to stand up with this, because if I can get the lock, I can just go through. Right through.
That's the difference between 2 and 4, though, right?
Okay. Why don't you teach that?
Let me jump. You made the comment earlier about can't use legs. From the referee standpoint, I'm Randall Balch, I'm the head official. The state chairman of Texas, I used to be the head official for Texas USA. You can't use legs actively. You can't cut them off, so they're going to be there. So when he gets that reverse lift and pulls it up, as long as he doesn't lift his leg off the mat to try and help him get that lock better, that leg's there. As long as he doesn't use his right leg to boost him up, when he stands, he uses his arms, he uses his back to get the lift, and then steps up with it, it's legal all day long. Not a problem. So don't think of you can't use legs because they have to be there. You just can't actively use it to try and score. I guess.
Can you show us that where it could be illegal?
Boost him up.
Yeah, you got to boost and lift the foot up.
Show the illegal first row.
See how he shifts that foot to try and put him on that shelf, and then, but if it's all one motion to go, it's fine.
So, like I said, we'll normally just line them up, and this is an everyday drill for us. 15, 20 minutes, they run through all these things. The low guts.
On you?
Yes, So I showed you the high guts. Like when I wrestled for the Marines, we were really big on high guts. He's gonna go through the low gut series.
So, I mean, obviously, it's not like folk style. You guys don't have to worry about him trying to get up and get away. I don't have to cover his hips. When I get outside, under the armpit. Over my arm.
Now I can do what I want. Get it locked tight. Pinch my elbows down, tight on his hips. I hop both feet outside. Even though in Greco, he can't flag me with his foot as I try to hop. I still get both feet outside because I can win that. Hop both feet outside. Drive, drive, drive.
Right to my gut.
So that's another thing. So I showed you the gator roll. He's gonna teach you. So the Russian roll, it's similar. You just go the other direction, really.
Well, so like with you kids, I actually don't teach the gator because it's really easy to defend. Gator me real quick. Right? Yeah. So if I got a guy who's gonna go gator me, oh stop, hold on, go back.
Hey, let's turn so they can see it. Notice on the gator, for those of you who don't have a lot of experience, he's got to trap that arm.
Go that way.
Look, he's got to sit through, turn all the way. As soon as he sits through, I can just grab his leg. Gator's done. I'll just pull myself to him.
I mean, not in Greco, but at Greco, I just swim over the top of his body. Do it again, yeah, do it again. He goes, I swim over the top.
Okay, and I stop the gator.
So what we teach is before you gator, you just hit a Russian roll. Same lock, forearm across the chin, block his armpit, so I'm pulling his arm up. Right, so you can do this from the ground or from your feet. I'm gonna go right knee in first. I'm taking this one. He's gonna belly out. Now, can't trap it because he's too flat.
So that'd be 2 and 2. Where'd Randall go? Yeah. So 2, so you get the 2 for the first one. When the guy bellies up, you hit the 2 for the second one.
One thing about that one is that the more you stepped in, the more you got your position, the tighter it got.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we said, Coach taught you some of the big throws. I'm a big arm spin guy myself. My fight last week in Dallas, I actually won with an arm spin. But a lot of times in Greco, you get those guys leaning. So I'm also a big front headlock series guy. So he starts leaning over, pummel. I get it down. Now, here, okay, if he's up like this, what can I step up into? Reverse. Right there. If I get him down all the way, I can still go to that roll, so it's more of a roll than a throw. I can do, traditional folk style, which is spin behind. But when I spin, do I want to stop or do I want to go straight into a gut? That's a big one. A lot of the high school kids use that. Snap down, spin behind, gut.
They stop you after 2
Nope.
No.
You gut it out.
Is it 8 now or 10?
Internationally and senior level, college level, it's 8, right, JD?
8.
8.10 at this level? 10 for cadets and juniors?
10 in high school.
Yeah. Seniors and so university age and up would be 8.
So if it's a 10-point tech ball, take down, spin behind, 2, what is it, 4 guts? 4 guts from there, there's your tech ball. Takes less than 20 seconds. 1, I'm pummeling, boom. Here, I can go straight into my gator roll. 2. Notice on my gator roll, when I hit it, what am I doing? I'm pushing into him, because what's his instinct? Push back. Well, if he goes up, I'm launching. Okay? When they go to push back, I can go. Or, I'll show yours.
I get front headlock with it. Get it down.
Again, I'm having a hard time getting him. Once I get the lock, I'm going to go hips in and get him up. Walk backward.
And get my 4.
And I call that a front headlock pinch, because you're really trying to pinch it down.
It's easy to do when somebody lets you do it.
Coach, you guys got about 3 minutes? Yeah. Hey guys, listen up.
Hi guys, because you hear the story all the time about Dan Gable hated freestyle. He was never going to wrestle freestyle. He lost his last match of his senior year in college, the only match he ever lost in his life. He didn't want to go out loser. It forced him. Going in freestyle, became one of our greatest Olympic wrestlers. This is the gentleman who beat him. Harry Owens.
I just wanted to show you a quick move, but I need a guy on his stomach. Typically when you take a guy down in Greco, they come into this position right here. So you keep your weight on him right here. Reach across and grab this wrist like this. Now from here, you just go to this position. And he can resist all he wants here, but I just got one arm. Taking him over. So if you want an easy way to turn him over, instead of all of this grunting and throwing, right here. And they will come into this position every time. And here, it doesn't feel too bad for you, does it? Nope. You don't feel like I'm going to do anything, but you switch it right over here so this, you cross it out, and you can make it move. No hand.
You just did it. You got it. Use the right side. Use the right side.
Okay? Got that? Okay, you spring right up to there. Try to keep the arm back here just a little bit more. A little bit.
we're back here, so you got this
This sounds like a legend.
Let's turn him over real quick.
I kind of want to do this.
I learned that move this year just by accident. I'm serious. So 50 years later, you learn to do it.
Here's the thing. Any place you go, if you pay attention, there's some kid that does something quirky, and you've got the same kind of kid in your practice room, and you can teach him that move. You're always learning.
Hey guys, I'm staying around to do the combat sports clinic, but if you want, Ray and I work really close together. All of our kids are basically one and the same. If you want us to write out just the basic drills, I mean real basic stuff where reps will help you guys. If you're seriously thinking about doing the Greco thing in June, we'll be more than happy just to write it out for you, the different moves. And then if you don't know what the move is, y'all can research it. You can email me, you can email him. I mean, we'll do whatever we can because, you know, we love Greco. Okay?
Thanks, guys. I'm going to intro them again, really, because what we want to do now is talk about the MAD. It's not up here anymore, but the MAD Nationals. That'll be in October. Again, the NCWA, we're trying all kind of things. I'm not saying all of it'll work. I'm just saying we are blessed to be able to be innovative enough that we can try stuff the NCAA or USA can't try. We can try it, try to make it successful. We're going to learn in the process. We don't have all the answers, but we're going to learn and figure it out. It may take a year or two. This will be, year before last, we piloted the Go Greco movement, okay? Last year we had our first Go Greco Nationals, had about 60 guys. That Go Greco Nationals was the first time in history that I'm aware of that colleges presented an All-American for Greco wrestling. And we can do that because the colleges recognize what we do and they recognize the academics that are involved in that, and they have to comply with the same academics they do for NCAA All-Americans. Are you with me? So we're going to do the same thing eventually with MAD Nationals. MAD stands for Martial Arts Development. It's the MAD Nationals. It sounds cool, but it actually has a meaning. We don't know all the details. We do know that we're going to stay away initially from any head strikes. We do know that we're contemplating large tournaments that will last 2 or 3 days. So striking on a regular basis may not be something we want to do because we don't want damage over those 3 days. So what we're considering, and again, this is all up for discussion, what we're considering in trying to integrate these programs is to do this. Is the first day or the first round, and some of these will be round robins, some of them may be 2 or 3 and out type things, but the first day would be collegiate wrestling, the first round. The second round would be grappling and submissions, BJJ. The third round would be Greco. And the fourth round would allow for strikes. So the objective there would be to get everybody that's in their own little cage. Hey, I'm BJJ, I don't do nothing else. Or I'm Greco, I don't do nothing else. Well, guess what? You got to do it all to win. And so now they're all going to learn those different concepts, and we hope expand college wrestling because we're going to take BJJ guys. We're going to take guys that are MMA guys, we hope, then in the college level, and bring them on board as wrestlers, either as Greco guys or as collegiate guys. So that's the long-term plan initially. That could change dramatically later, but we plan on having the first one in October here in Dallas. Long-term, the reason for that is we want to do it during football season. This will be a big deal, I think. The schools, Dallas is already excited about it. California's got some folks. The thought will be that when we get to the finals in an event like that, like on Texas OU weekend, what we'll do on Texas OU weekend, when there's 70,000 people here, it'll be Texas versus Oklahoma in the cage with the lights and the whole deal. We'll do an American Airlines Center and bring in 17,000 people to watch it. Out of those 70,000 that are out there figuring out they don't know what to do the night before. Does that make sense? That'll fund, if we do that, that'll fund the NCWA. We won't have to ever charge an entry fee. We won't have to, any of that stuff. Okay, so that's the big vision to do that. So we don't know yet exactly how scoring is going to go. I don't know anything about this. So I'm kind of a vision guy, but boy, I've got zero skills. Okay, so I've asked some of the guys that really know what they're doing to come in and teach us a little bit. So I've asked Don Turnage. Don is a UFC official. He has the martial arts laboratory here in town and understands not only that technique but how to officiate it. So I'm going to let him cover that with you and talk maybe a little bit about scoring. So Don, thanks for showing up.
Hello, how you doing? Hi. Both types necessary. I know one of you real well. We've actually shared some time together in the cage. So, guys, we got two topics to cover. First one, the NCGA, which is the National Collegiate Grappling Association, and then the martial arts development part. Okay? So, coming from what Travis did, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the grappling part. Now, he kept using the initials BJJ. How many guys have ever worn a gi and done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? All right. Hearts to you. How many guys have ever worn this and done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? That's impossible. Because, no, the reason I say that is, listen, there's several different types of grappling, right? My Jiu-Jitsu, my MMA grappling, has a lot of what you guys do in it, has some of what he does in it, has some Sambo, has some small circle Jiu-Jitsu, and of course has the Brazilian background as well. So when we're talking about this, the stigma is I don't wear pajamas and I don't want to be controlling on what I can do, right? That's when, because most wrestlers I go to, I don't want to put on pajamas. Okay, but we're not going to, right? But the true vision for the NCGA and the MAD program is when you guys are through doing what you're doing in college, and if you don't make it to the Olympics, this gives you another avenue to do one of three things. You can just go continue working out, stay in shape, go compete. You could decide, you know what, I'm ready to strap up and go. Or you can go to three, you can go teach other kids. And that's truly the reason I'm involved with it. When Jim asked me to be involved, I got very excited. I think it gives wrestlers another avenue once you're done with your college career if you can't go on beyond that. Does that sound fair? So, real quick, I got Travis here, I've got Mr. Brown, I have Mike here, and my lady here. Come on up. So we're working on some grappling stuff real quick. Do you guys have any, let me do it a little bit differently. What do you guys have questions about on grappling? Something. Okay, scoring system. You're going to like what I'm going to do with that. Blocks? Gotcha.
How to properly grab a person? I don't know. You know, there's like
how to properly grab somebody.
I don't know.
It scares me that much. You're good. You're good. Okay. Scoring system. So,
I mean, because you know how some people run like that, yeah.
Perfect. So I will put the scoring system. My vision is this: either a 5 or 7 minute first round, submission only. You guys hear that? What did I say? 5 or 7 minute round submission only. What that means is we're not going to be counting points on that first round. If a submission is not achieved, we go to 2 minute overtime, we start counting points. Okay? In Jiu-Jitsu right now, in Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, because that's basically where you have to go to compete in this, you've got mount, and we'll show some different positions here. So you've got mount, side mount, you know, the takedown gets a point, the back control gets a point, and there's some vantage points. I'm going to keep it very, very simple. We're going to have 1 and 2 points. Make sense? Because we're doing, right? Because I can't count, I only have 10 toes, so I can't go past that. My hands are busy. So my point is that my goal is 5 to a 7 minute round, whatever we can agree on is going to fit in, and then a 2 minute overtime if it goes to the ring. I can tell you that unless you're equally freaking matched, meaning style to style, someone's going to catch a submission at some point. I can even tell you, I've grappled with this guy, I've seen her fight, never grappled with that. But if I did, I'd be going there. I wouldn't worry about any of that. I'd be going for the feet, right? So we're gonna have leg locks. The one leg lock we're not gonna allow is anything twisting in the knee. Okay? Now, those of you who's competed in a jiu-jitsu or grappling tournament? Okay, thank you. Because the one thing that they don't allow is reaping in the knee, and I think that's gay. Excuse my language. So, not there's anything wrong with that. Okay. Have to be politically correct. Can't get in trouble. So, real quick. Stand up for me. So, properly grabbing somebody.
Okay.
see what your questions are.
It was him that asked that.
No, he was point. He was points. I'm good at this. He was points. He was grabbing, and he wanted to go like this. So he went, "How do I grab somebody? How would you grab somebody wrestling?" Questions? Yes. Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
Keep my thumb in, or if not this way.
Okay.
Whenever they,
You're getting real detailed. I like this.
they do this.
Yes.
Or if not, they do this.
Absolutely.
Try to-
Let me show you one thing I love to do. Reaching on me for one underhook. Why you tap? He's done. I won. Make sense? So that's the thing. You're gonna come out from stuff like this. Boom. Right? I can submit him right here. You know how to tap, right?
Yeah.
You can say to tap it. Right? After I do that, I have to do this. I'm sorry. It's a rule. As a professor, I gotta massage it back out. So,
You mind if I touch base on that? Okay. Guys, with the whole grabbing thing, it's no different than wrestling.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, y'all already know. I mean, it's the same exact same thing.
Here,
Everything.
here, under, whatever I want. Right? It's the same stuff. So, what an example is.
Oh, no, you.
What, you want mount?
Okay, get on back. Now, if you notice, his head's not all the way down, his shoulders are down. That's not a rule, that's my rule.
Sorry. No, you're fine.
If you're flat on your back, you're screwed. So, we never want to get here in wrestling, do we? No, that sucks, doesn't it? It means we just lost. Okay? He's actually in a very dominant position. He has some escapes and things he can do from here to benefit him. So he's going to do real quick. So he's going to step around this leg. Do the leg trap. Trap the arm, go that way. He just reverses position. Make sense? Now where that becomes very, very good. No, you're too big. Don't come ahead. Where that becomes good in a fight, I'm here, he goes to strike. I reverse the position, off the strike. Right? So in jiu-jitsu, is this a good position or a bad position for him? Raise your hand if it's good. Raise your hand if it's bad. This is actually the best position for you to be in. Show you why? If I reach up to hit him, boom. Right? Oh, he big. So if he reaches up to hit me, redirect here, head and arm choke. I can slide off into here, arm bar, finish the arm bar. Make sense? So I'm here, he goes to hit me, boom, boom, all kinds of stuff. So those of you who have, how many of you guys have grappling programs right now at your school? Raise your hand. Person.
So, in grappling, you just strike?
Oh no, we're almost there. No, we can't strike in grappling, but I'm trying to show the benefit of this because what they were talking about here in a few minutes is the striking portion. So different body type, different person. You guys are allowed to play some legs, right? This legal? Where you guys are? You're wrestling? Yeah.
And not the way you got it.
So he's in a very, very good control right now. Now, what is he controlling here? What does he have to control me? Right. I can't get out, right? So release this. This is called a regular half guard. Okay, I'm still able to move some. Right? So some escapes you can do from here. You'll like this one. Big boy touch. You're gonna come here, driving the hips, go flat to my side. Pull open. Kick, side. Make sense? So again, in wrestling, you never want to be here. Watch what happens when I do that right. When I get high. Boom. Now he's gonna attack this arm. And we're done. Make sense? I'm kind of answering a couple of questions about moves and submissions.
And that's going to be the hardest part, guys, getting used to going to your back. I've been back to doing this for 2 years, and I still hate being on my back. I mean, just because I wrestled for so long. But it works.
And so my thing is, never go to your back. He's not on his back. Makes sense? In fact, any of my students were real, that's one of, we got a few rules there than never. You never go to your back to prepare the mat. And you never say the C word. Can't. Right? That I can't do that or can't do this. That's 30 push-ups. Yeah. From here, the leg locks. The only leg lock I think we're going to not allow is called the heel hook. That's when I come in here. It's going to blow all this out. Okay? I do them all the time. You can ask Mike from this morning. If you go knee on belly on me, you're going to get heel hook. Okay? This is loud. Okay? It's called a stima. It's allowed. A straight tight knee bar. I like to lace mine. I get up on here and I go here for it. Boom. Or I'll come in here for the push. Boom. Or slide over for the push. Boom. I'll allow those because you have plenty of time to tap. My opinion is if you're going to grapple at any level, you should not defend yourself. Right? So anything that takes a second for it to finish, I'm okay. You need your knee cleaned out. But if I go here, you don't have time to defend that. Make sense? So any questions about the leg locks? I know I covered it pretty fast. So the one thing we're not going to allow is here. Now there's a rule, that's why I asked you guys, whoever's competed in the grappling tournament on different levels, is there's no reaping of the knee. One of my favorite things, last Sunday repeat, is I'm here, and he goes to stand up, I come right here. And I can definitely come here and lock this out. Pop. Okay? So that's called reaping. I'm not allowed to take his knee and drive it across his body. Make sense? I'm okay with that. So the only leg lock we're not going to allow is what? Everybody say heel hook. Heel hook. Heel hook is this. Okay? It's very effective. See? Very effective. Now, Mike. Grabbing the clavicle, no. This is going to be wrestling as well, right? You guys grab a clavicle? You can? That's beautiful. They're saying yeah, he's saying no.
No reason.
Really? I love coming in here.
I can
Sorry.
I can do that.
Right here, that's one of the self-defense things I teach right here. And you take it and
Start again.
right here. Boom. It's a hook. I don't think I can get you. Got too much muscle. I couldn't get in you. So, as we're starting, we're typically going to start standing up. We're going to slap, tap, and go. And what is this? Who has got hooking up? Right? So in jiu-jitsu and in grappling, we have what's called pulling the guard. I go straight to my half spot. Right? That is legal. Okay? Totally legal. And when I'm going to work out of here, again, we're in our favorite spot. If he doesn't move, I got to make him move. Do some different stuff. Deep breaths. Boom. Arm lock. All those. So, without giving you a complete clinic on jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, in grappling and even in wrestling, and Greco and everything, there's usually five basic things. So it's like, to me, jiu-jitsu and grappling is like Mexican food. There's five basic ingredients that I can serve 1,000 different ways. All right, I've got to decide how I'm going to serve it. Does that make sense? So what I want you guys to understand is how many things on the body in grappling can I attack? Give me a number.
As many as you want.
You know the answer. Shut up. Anybody?
Hands, hips, head, heel.
Again? Count it.
Hands, hips, head, heel.
So 11 total. Oh, he's right. He's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got first blocks. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so when you're competing in any type of grappling, in my opinion, it's very, very small. Meaning, if I'm going to do an armbar, have you guys seen a regular armbar? Come armbar him. Show him what's like. Traditional old school armbar. Now, what is she attacking there?
Elbow. Shoulder.
Yeah, yes, elbow, absolutely. So get back up for me. Here, up. Mike, can you show me your elbow? How big is that elbow? 1/2 a square inch. That's all you're attacking. Does that make sense? So when we concentrate on those, that's like, see that? I'm not going, you're gonna break me. When you did that reach in, I showed you a second ago, that's what I attacked.
Yeah, I thought that.
Right there. Did you feel it?
Yeah.
I wasn't here. Right at the elbow, push your shoulder. Make sense? So again, I don't know how much this truly translates from the wrestling, but I think quite a bit of it does. So it's not that different. That's what I wanted to hear you say. You know, Jim was talking about BJJ and all that. It's grappling. What it does, it just opens your field a little. I can tell you, don't shoot me for this. I've had a couple wrestlers come to me and unfortunately quit and go into grappling, which I don't like that, right? But it was either they were okay at their high school or whatever, and they wanted to get some more stuff. This, as you start getting the right positions and stuff like that, and I think we're going to talk about a mentoring program as part of this program, is it will change your wrestling ability. It'll definitely change you being on the street, 20 years from now, you're walking down the street, some guy goes to grab you, oh, poor guy. Right? And so that's my goal. Jim and I have been kicking this around, a bunch of people involved with it for almost 4 years. And it's finally getting to the point where it's going to happen. So, any questions about the grappling portion of the talk about points. YouTube, hear it for me. You're down, Mike. You're down. So here's our position. We're going to start off with guard or full mount. Transition knee on belly. Transition side control. Love you, Ryan. North-south, please. Opposite side control, come back to the other side. Knee on belly. Full mount. That's basically 2 of my ingredients. But how many different ways do we do it? Those are your positions. Now, in a traditional tournament, depending on who the tournament is, mount. Mount. Most tournaments, this is 3 points, some is 2. Knee on belly. So somebody keep count for me. Can you get this right? So there are 3. So this is 2 points here. So now we're at 5. North-south. Oh, sorry, side, my bad. No, we'll go back north-south. I did it on purpose. Side on the other side. I'm sorry, Chad. Go north-south. Really put it to him, though. Make him feel it. Ryan's been smart. Some tournaments give you no points for this. Other will give you 2. Now let's go to side control. This is a 2. Now let's say by chance the opponent on the bottom rolls over and gets in a turtle position. No points for this. I know you guys were just showing that belly thing, which I think that's awesome.
Oh, the guts.
I got dizzy watching that. So now, for them to get points for this in a traditional tournament, they've got to get their hooks in. Hooks in. And keep it for 3 to 4 seconds. This is a 4-point move. Okay? I don't think it should be a 4-point move. It should be a 2. Right? It's pretty. It's not real damaging. It would be if Travis is on you, because you're going to get on him and flatten him out. Yeah, watch it. You're going to flatten him out. Bam! That, to me, is a bigger move. Makes sense? If I go from if I get back control to grapevine, I think it should be a point, and it's not. We're going to make it.
Guys, actually, I never throw the hooks in. I love when they turtle up, but even when I do these big world tournaments, I don't do it because I'm not comfortable with it. I stay on the side, and I rip their shoulders out, I'll do all kinds of things. But, I'm in agreement. I don't think it should be worth a lot of points. I don't use it.
If I get here,
or I'll just spiral down to here. Because now I got this shoulder, I got this arm, I can transition to the legs. So yeah, I never use full mount or legs out.
It's a Brazilian thing. They get there and hang out and get lazy, right? There's no Brazilian thing, are there? All right, so that's kind of just a general overview. Now again, 5 to 7 minute, I got to get with Jim, 5 to 7 minute submission only. What does that mean? All that stuff you just did is beautiful, doesn't count for squat, right? What we're looking for is to set up a position for me. 3 of the easiest positions, Brenda can choke him for me. She's going to hold him, boom, boom. She's going to squeeze and he's going to tap. That means we're done, okay? Or if you go to sleep. No, seriously, Travis, you been to sleep yet? Never? You should roll. You've been to sleep, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad. No. In fact, I tell you, you have some of the greatest dreams ever, and they feel like they last forever. They're only 30 seconds long. There's very little damage that happens that is catastrophic in a grappling tournament, other than knees, some popped elbows, right? They usually come back. This one here has been out many times. It's not something that's going to end your career.
As long as you're self-aware of what's going to happen, tap if that's the case. Like, it's not worth it.
But going to sleep, I don't mind.
I've still had to fight after.
I actually went to sleep during the tournament. Dude did not catch it. I woke back up, and I had to realize where I was and finish in one. So, but here's the thing. So that's my goal for you guys too. Is anything we're doing, because the rule set's going to be set up to protect you so you can continue on later in life. Who was the one that died? The Gracie that died? No. One of our grandfathers, if you will, right, was 87 years old when he passed away. He was professional. Don't you think about that? He was able to still do this. How many of you guys ever played judo? Not on the video game. Put your hand down. How many of you guys actually have been there and done some judo throws? You're scaring me, dude.
You know, it was just sambo. We did everything in sambo.
I like sambo. I like that. Yeah. Most judocos, when they hit 40, cannot move their hips. Would you agree, Travis? Most of the guys I know go, yeah, I'm a black belt in judo. That's awesome. Let's come roll. Oh, I can't roll. Why not? My hips are jacked up. Right? So I would tell you that he said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I'll look at the camera and say this. It's going to be American Jiu-Jitsu soon. Because wrestling has affected it. Sambo's affected it. In mine, catch wrestling's affected it. Small circle Jiu-Jitsu is affected it. You got something to add for that, Travis?
I mean, I've won 3 world championships in the last 15 months, and guys has been doing this twice as long as me, and what won it was my wrestling. I mean, they couldn't control me, my hips. Every time I roll with the high-level black, the number 2 guy in the world.
Control your what?
My hips. But the number 2 guy in the world trains here.
That's what I tell them every day. It's in the hips.
Control the hips, baby.
But it is a very easy transition. I mean, I'm training with the number 2 guy in the world right now. They brought me in to prepare him for some big tournaments because of my wrestling. Their exact words were, we need a big wrestler that understands grappling.
So don't be afraid. I want you guys to embrace it. Because I tell you, it is the next step, right? So in a second, we get on the striking part. How many of you guys watch boxing? Because you're all fairly young. How many truly watch boxing to watch it? Truly watch it. Like you know what weight class, who's here. All right, older guys. How many guys grew up watching boxing in the 70s and 80s and can tell you who the champion was? All of us. Yes, the older guys. Boxing got killed for me when Tyson got taken advantage by Don King. Okay, it killed it for me. Just so happens I was sitting there flipping. What's this? Click. Okay. And I watched these guys just brutalize each other. And it was, guys, it was very brutal. You realize that when the UFC first started, who owned the UFC when it first started? Any guesses?
Gracie.
Who said that? Gracie. And Gracie's owned it for the first 5 UFCs, and Art Davey came in and bought it. Okay? Art's a great guy. Art got taken advantage of one of those things. Okay? But the Gracies owned it to show their type of fighting. Who won the first 5 UFCs? Who won the first 3, and then there's another jiu-jitsu guy that won 1. But basically, their style owned it. You guys, so how old is MMA?
Started in 93.
Started in 93. Prior to that, there's a thing called pancration. You look at some old Greek statues. They're standing here, and this dude's hand is open and planted on its face. Now smack. Ah! It was open hand strikes. Right? So MMA's been around for centuries. It was usually at a bar, or it happened in the Olympics. So the guy who was first created, do you guys know who brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Brazil?
Kano.
Who?
Kano.
Maeda.
Yeah, Maeda Kano.
Yeah, Maeda. Maeda fought MMA fights his whole life. He would go to this guy and go, hey, let's go. Right? Undefeated. And that was in the late 1800s. So I'm talking about the grappling part, right? Boxing's been around for how long?
Marcus, the Queensberry rule?
1700s, right? Early 1700s. Wrestling's been around for how long? It's the oldest sport around. Right? So true mixed martial arts, in my opinion, UFC started in 93. True mixed martial arts didn't really happen until 99, right? Almost 2000, because you had one sport versus one sport. Pat Miletich, a good friend of mine, invented the ground or the two body, one head, right? Tito Ortiz, he invented the thing Travis Beckham's cage would love to do. You try to push you through that mess cage, right? The heavy pressure. I wouldn't want him pinning me up against the side of the cage, right? But the thing about mixed martial arts, because that's really what it is. Wrestling has never been considered a martial art. And I think that's crap. When I do my intros, people are coming to my school, I explain to them that wrestling is a martial art. It just didn't originate from an Asian country, right? Because it is a martial art. You guys put in more effort, you're more diligent, you're more committed than almost any other sport I know of. And most of you guys wrestled in high school, right? Had to watch what you ate, right? Had to watch your weight, had to watch how you conditioned. Then you get your buddy who played football, who came in, he'd roll with you, after season. Guys like him, eat whatever they want to, look like that, right? Want to come to day. Huh? I come back. Came straight off football, and you're like, okay. Guys, in my opinion, wrestlers are the most committed martial artists. Okay? Seeing some guys who do jits, who do grappling, that are that committed. But most of us, because it's not a paid sport up until.
I mean, in 90 seconds, I made about $800 Friday in Dallas, just for showing up, submitting a basket. But if you want, I'll tie it in the rest of the jits real quick. Okay, guys. Well, they mainly brought me up here to show you guys. I mean, my whole background is wrestling. You already know my Greco. I was a 3-time All-American there. I was a 2-time Division II All-American. I mean, that's all I did. A couple years ago, I got back into jiu-jitsu. I said I won 3 world titles, 2 Pan Am titles. Let's see, I've won 3 fight to wins, which is the big one where you're making money
so
now.
dark
They
when I
bring
stand
in
over
grapplers
here.
and stuff. It's under the lights. It's a pretty good show. We just had one in Dallas a few weeks ago. I was 3rd at the Abu Dhabi Combat Trials. You win that one, that's huge. They send you overseas, and I actually won that as a purple belt. So in jiu-jitsu, it's white, blue, purple, brown, black. And I actually took 3rd. I lost my referee decision to a black belt to get my trip overseas to compete in front of the Sheik and all that other good stuff. But right now, I'm going to do some takedowns, do submissions. I'm just going to roll through them. Right? I'm not going to explain a whole lot. If I do something that you really want me to break down for you, please stop me and I'll show it. But like I told you, I'm a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I don't consider myself a BJJ guy. I consider myself a wrestler that knows how to grapple. All right, first, I'll just show you what I won the fight with last week. It was 90 seconds, basic arm spin. Coach showed an arm spin earlier. Came in. I actually hit it from the outside because the guy had his elbows in, but I'm going to show you the traditional. Here, I rolled him up. Actually, yep. Turn this way, turn this way. Right there. Okay. So, Kimura, like an arm spin. Pull him up. There's my arm bar. My straight arm bar. Back to the straight arm bar. Kimura. Americana. Roll them up. Come back here. Arm bar. So if you catch the leg, arm bar. I won't do the outside single anymore. When I first got back in, knee picks and ankle picks were the big ones. Here,
Now I know this is normal. I don't stay here. If you notice everything I did, I got this side. I love being here. This is where I get all the time. I rarely go to full mount. Most guys I go against are 340, 350. I'm only 260. So that's the other thing. You heavyweights, it's unlimited. Okay, so it doesn't matter. And the lowest weight is 220. Anything above that is unlimited. So what I love about it. Okay, if you want to run a lace series in wrestling, we're used to pulling it out, putting it here, right? A few months ago, I'm playing around. I realized something. I pinned this shoulder down. Turn. All the way. It's hard for him to move, right? Right there. If he's holding on, I started doing this. I started grabbing the knuckles. The knuckles, you grab the knuckles, it's easier to pull it out. I set my forearm on the tricep, there, or just wrist lock.
Show it again.
Okay. So I'm here, go back to the turtle. Reach through, I'm gonna reach through, peel it out, just like you do in wrestling. Keep all that weight. Normally their defense is to roll through. That's why I'm here. Grab the knuckles with your palm. Just start cranking that shoulder up. Okay? Or grab it and just wrist lock it right there.
I've got a big question.
Yes.
How much pressure do you put on it? Do you want to break it, bend it, or do you just want him to tap out?
If you're training, be very careful with a lot of these moves. Especially if you know what you're doing and the other guy doesn't. Last week, if you see my highlights, you thought I'd ripped his damn arm out. I mean, because when I got here, why am I trapping this down? So he can't spin, he can't roll. I'm pinching right here. I love being here. I got to this position, and on the film, you just see me bring his elbow to about here. I just ripped it straight up and back. In training, you gotta be very, very careful. I know Don talked about, you know, the injuries and stuff. Jiu-jitsu is just like wrestling. I think that's why I loved it. Like the community, the way people are, it's exactly like the wrestling community. Everyone's welcoming. I train in about 6 different gyms in the DFW area because, I mean, everyone's just so friendly. Those blast doubles, those outside singles, you can go into his leg lock series. I'm not a leg lock guy. I'd rather just make you cry than bite on your ankles, but that's all right. Trying to think. I mean, those are the basics. I mean, he talked about it. I don't get spectacular. I don't do highlight reel. My highlight reel is takedowns. And the thing is, a lot of high-level black belts are bringing me in to teach them how to wrestle because most of them, he'll tell you, most of the black belts never learned how to wrestle when they started. There's some gyms that I go to where I'm teaching the professor how to wrestle because he never did it. BJJ in the past was always, okay, come on, let's fight.
Set, tap, and go.
You know?
How's your weekend? Great.
But that's how it was. Like, very few gyms stand up, but they're bringing wrestlers in to teach that part. Wrestlers are coming in and beating guys that have been doing it for 20 or 30 years. I love it. Like, I'm 35. It got me from 28 to 35. I didn't do anything but coach. And then I got back into it, and, you know, it's like a second win. You know, I'm traveling. I'm getting ready to go to Worlds in a few months. I have the combat trials again. I mean, it's awesome, guys. So definitely, and it's made my wrestling better. That's what there's a lot of stuff when I started training cage fighters and grapplers that I took back to my high school kids, like in wrestling. What? In wrestling, how many of you have been taught tee out? A lot of times that's what happens. So I tee out, he starts shaking and moving. There's a lot of space, right? Once I started teaching combat sports, me getting this thigh up in his armpit, my other knee is in his hips. Now try and move. I started teaching this to my high school kids, and it was a game changer. But it was grappling that got me to see, oh shit, there is another way. So even if you're doing it just for fun, not to compete, it is a great sport. It's something great to get in. For you Dallas people, I train over in Dallas twice a week. I'm located in Fort Worth, mainly in Keller, but reach out to me. Reach out to Don. We'll do whatever we can to get you guys going.
Thanks, sir. So now we're not gonna spar, because I don't want her beating him up, because I've been in the cage with her before. We're gonna show some things we're allowed to do. And we may do a few transitions. I'll let her hit me, and we'll do some transitions on that. So,
How much longer are we going?
outside leg kick.
How much longer are we going?
Well, that's gonna be legal. Okay. Kick up to the ribs. Legal. Okay. Kick the head. Not legal. Anything from here up, we're not gonna let. Okay. And the reason for that again is the number one injury in MMA, long-term injury, is what? TBI. Traumatic brain injury. You're hanging about football now. I literally had a guy that I've known for years, who's been a boxing coach here in McKinney, walked into my gym the other day on a cane, shaking. I almost cried. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. I heard he was sick, but he didn't want to get out, right? I don't want you guys getting your heads constantly hit. What should we do? In your opinion? Right? Should I DQ him? Should I mentally, since we're not going to point, should I take a point away? You're Stephen Balls, yes. What we're going to say is no foul, give him 3 to 5 minutes to recover. The problem is I don't want this square for grappling. I love wrestling. You guys need to run grappling tournaments. Because grappling tournaments suck when it comes to bracketing and timing, right? So there'll be a timeout for incidental fouls. Somebody's dead to hit head. It's going to happen. That point, that cue, is up to the referee's decision whether it's intentional or unintentional. So if I'm here, pop. Yeah, I just hit him in the head, right? On me or on him? On him. So, unintentional, but if I come here, boom, near him. So I want you guys to understand the rule set is going to be designed to protect you, keep it entertaining, and keep the fight going. That makes sense? Questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about either topic at this point? What you got?
So if someone goes out on the position, you want to do two submissions.
No, you're done. They go 9-9. So my thing is either we do it as one submission guys, but not throwing the head strikes, right? And like to wrestle. You give us some time to do it. Now, if it's two subs in the first round, done. If it's sub in the first, sub in the third, done. Make sense? Anybody else? Oh, you got anything? Just throw it off.
How do you differentiate having a head strike as opposed to a club?
Here, Cliff, show Mike.
So instead of trying to like throw a punch, if I'm trying to fuck somebody with my takedown, I come here and it's really hard.
You hooked it, it's fine. It's just, here is not, and here is not. I gotta come.
These are all about
You gotta be back in. It's gonna happen. This is good. This is good.
Oh, I just saw you had a
Right?
lead bracket.
But coming in here and striking. And you can tell.
all online,
Like, good
that's
referee to be able to-
Right.
Yeah, us old guys that like the paper copy, we're out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Yeah, I
so
like
the glove
track
you
better
guys-
than flow. I don't like the way flow brackets.
These are considered sparring gloves. You can still grapple with these.
Is that an amen?
Regular main gloves are open here, your stomach open. Thumbs get broken, fingers go in the eyeballs. Okay? I'm trying to prevent all of that. Even if it's not a head pop. Because we can't head pop, we just can't. Head pop me. Boom, that's legal. Got hit me. Ow! That's not legal. Does that make sense though? Does it sound like something you guys can believe in, pass along, get on your social media, tweet it? What do you guys do now? Insta-face, whatever it is, right? You guys can pull that off. I'm excited about this, and I'll tell you, we've been talking about it for 4 years. 4 years. Again, the reason I'm involved, guess how much I'm getting paid to do this? Yes. Huh? Zero. I don't feel sorry for me, because that's not it. I have plenty of people sorry for them every day when they roll with me. No, the reality is though, seriously, I'm doing this for you, but I'm also doing it for the sport. The reason I started refereeing, I would have never thought my first event would be to sit out and be an official at the UFC, Austin, Texas. Until 5 months before me becoming a ref, I didn't have to be a referee. I was training a fighter, we got into the cage, I'm not going to mention names, a certain referee. Okay, boom, boom. We were choking him here. Oh, sorry, that's mine, sorry. We wouldn't finish it yet. The ref stands him up. Right? Brandon's going to finish it. Stands him up. I'm like, what the? Second round, the same thing happened. It was after the first round, I refereed here. Second round, Brandon got kicked out for that. He fixed something. He got to the leg right. Ref said break. He got his face pushed in pretty good. I came in the second round. The young referee, Brandon's over bleeding. He wanted to not stop. One of the rules right now, for us, is a corner person cannot stop a fight. Right? I told him to have him stop a fight. Third round, and by the way, there's one thing I will show you. Outside head turn with. Outside head. Brandon's here, sets it. Ref stops it. How about you? I was banned from anything combative sports related for the next forever. I was forever banned. 6 months later, I got a call from the state when you're right, we know we're doing it. Right? So I didn't set up to be a referee. And I've done UFC, I've done anything of a name brand I've done here in Texas or Oklahoma. So I want to take those years of experience and get it to you guys so you can continue moving forward. My biggest frustration right now is I see a lot of guys who walk in right at the end of your coming to see me and go, you're crying, you're in the late. There's nothing for me to do. It's not fair. And some of you guys, probably 4 or 5 of you in this room right now, may even go on and actually get paid to do this. I will tell you it pays a lot better now than what it used to. The fact that he got paid $800 for 90 seconds of work, when I first started, I got paid more than the fighters, and I don't get paid much. It sucked. Now I'm starting to see on lower level fights where guys getting 5, 7,000 to show, 5 or 7 to win, right? And it brackets up from there. There will be more than just one UFC. I hate when people say I train UFC. That's a brand. That's Coca-Cola, right? There are some better martial arts that came across here recently that he's been involved with. That should be in the UFC. They just have the right people to get them there. Jim's goal is to give you a launching pad for that. Is to take you guys out of here, and if you want to go to the next step, you can. If you want to do it for exercise or keeping in shape, you can, right? So, that's all. I'm going to wrap it up. Any questions? Anybody? What do you mean getting? I can see your eyes. Nothing? All right, guys. Thank you very much.